Shalom, everybody. We're going to continue with the Rambam Halacha L'Yuna, and which is such a wonderful part of the Rebbe's Takon of Limud Rambam. And may this be Le'ilu Nishmas of my dear father, Areini Kaporas Mishkove, Rabbi Mendy Rabbi Cohen, passed away last week. So, Alichtiki Gan Eden. Learn Rambam. What I'm going to do today is a little different than we do always. I'm going to ask a question. Maybe someone has an answer. We learn in the Rambam about Tzomid Posil. The Rambam, in the beginning of the Rambam, in Perek Chof Aleph, Minayin letzomid posil shematzil be'el hameis. Tzomid posil is an interesting pshat. You take a keli, and on top of it you have a tzomid, which is a cover, and you have a posil. You have a cement teeth connecting it. That's matzil, and the tumah should not go into anything that's in the keli. Says the Rambam Shenemar Chil Kli Pasuach Hashein Tzomid Posil Olov Tomehu. So you learn from this, Yesh Tzomid Posil Olov. If there's a keli with a tzomid, with a posil, is toher. That the tzomid posil makes everything in the keli like it's not in the el hameis, it's safe. That it's talking about klicheres and other kelim that are not mekabel tumah, like klei glolim and klei avonim. The tumah of klicheres, tumah of this keli, which is tzomid posil, there is in Perek Chof Beis Halacha Gimel. The Rambam writes, klei cheretz matzil b'tzomid posil. Sorry. There's a whole shaklavitaya. When is a klei cheretz matzil b'tzomid posil? If there's a nekev kemoitzi rimoy, or there's yifoches rubai, then it doesn't have a din of tzomid posil. But if you didn't close the hole, the Rambam says a different shia. The Rambam says if it has moitzi zeisim and you don't close the hole, it's not matzil. So the Mefarshim ask on the Rambam, when do you say tzomid posil? Is it moitzi riman or moitzi zeisim? There's a fascinating Pirush Mishnayis La Rambam, and he says that it depends what we're talking about. Once it has a hole, yifochis rubei, even if you block it all with cement, it's not a keli anymore. The tahar is only when you do it in a keli and it's tzomid posil. But if it's not a keli, it's like you took food and you put a bunch of cement on it. It's not tzomid keli, tzomid posil. But if you have a nekev and you didn't close it, if it's moitzization, if you close it, it's choizer to be a keli, and it's a keli tzomid posil. So that's the fascinating concept of keli tzomid posil. The Rambam writes it's something that you could easily make a mistake. Let me talk about the Rambam I want to talk about today. Perik Chav Beis Halacha Ches. Chovis hamukefes tzomit posil. So it's Halacha Zayin. Chovis shemelei mashkin teherin. It's full of mashkin. Umenikis shel chedes betecha. It has like a straw from chedes. Chovis mukefes tzomit posil. There's an achovis. And it has a tzomit posil. Unsuna be'el ameis, it's an eil ameis. Chovis v'hamashkin teherin. It's still considered a tzomit posil because the straw blocks the tumah. V'hamenikis tmeya. But the straw is from klei cheres and it's tomei. Why is of the Rambam? Mipnei shektzoso achas betecha chovis amukefes. V'akotz hasheni psucho leil ameis ve'eni shoso. So this straw, there's a stir in the straw. Mitzad echad, the straw makes the chovis to be tzomit posil. The hole was blocked, tzafula keli. But the meinika alone is mekabel tuma, because it's posuch leil ameis, and the meinika is not sosum. Af al pishe akuma, cheres yes sosum, the meinekes, also because it's crooked. Ein akum kisosum. The fact that it's crooked doesn't make it like sosum. And we find the Mekeves HaMishnah brings, we find in Hilchas Eidevin, Movei HaMefulash. If it's Movei Okum, it has a din of Movei HaMefulash. Memele, it's open. Fragt auf dem der Reivet. So der Reivet hat das ist a Mishnah, man sagt, das Kelim Perik Tes Mishnah Beis. Samachlekes Bishame Bishilo. Bishame says, Achovis v'mashkin teherin, umeinekes tmeya, ubeishilo leimnim, the meinekes is tehera, and Beishilo passing like Bishame. That's Samachlekes in a holis. And the Reivet says that this straw, the straw of matches, and it's together in the chovis. They're all locked up. Tzomit poser. Nevertheless, this straw becomes tomei because there's a gzeiris chazal that a keli and amoretz, and even a klei matches. You said that it's tomei to be sure that you don't use it. Gzeir and amoretz explained later in Perek of Gimel in today's Rambam. But they didn't do it. But the meinekes is matches. That's why it's tomei. Fragt Rav Mendy the Muzog Pshat in the Mishnah that it's a meinekes on matches that fully in its tzomit posil. Because if it's cheres, it should be just the opposite. The straw should be toher, because it doesn't have a base kibul, and the klicheres without base kibul is toher, and the chovis and the mashkin should be tomei, because it's not tzomit posil, it has a hole. Because he brings in the Rambam Pesach ha'osri b'dei Adam even kol maybe satuma b'tzomit posil. Meile sagt kemen sagen pshat the Rambam sagt. The Kesef Mishnah says that what caused the Rambam to say his thing, the same Mishnah is in Olis. And the same Mishnah is in Edyois. It's a third time the Mishnah. So he said it's not talking about that. It's talking about a total different case. It's not talking about a closed tzomit posil. It's talking about the meinekes was sticking out and the meinekes was shalcheres. Fragst das Shaila, how is the the Klecheres Makabel Tumah. It's noch nicht kein Klei, it's noch nicht a Kele Makabel Tumah. Will the Kesef Mishnah learn that it's very zokuf. It's like it doesn't go crooked. The straw goes very slanty, very strong. So very easy for something that could be an ikuv mayim over there, and some tipe yayin could be there. That's why it has a loch of people. Other mefarshim want to learn that since you could take with the straw and put your finger on one hand and hold the water in the whole straw, memela heistes mitzadema klei kibul alkoponim. Darf man doch verstehen. Why does the Rambam learn that it's tzomit posel, even though that it's open with a straw, and the straw is makabel tumah? Even though the mefarshim learn that the straw is not touching the mashke, but if the tumah is mispashit in the home nekes and eina okum kisosum, like the Rambam says, it cannot stop the tumah. Why should this meinekes make everything else in the chovis the mashkin somit posel? It's a tata de sasra. If you learn according to the Raivet and the other Rishonim, learn Pshat in the Mishnah, that it's a meinekes shel matches, and it's in the keli, and it's closed, Fashteich, it's somit posel. Nevertheless, a meinekes could be tomei and everything else toher, because Agzeris Chazal or to any other klei shetef from an amoretz, because by mistake you won't check to make sure if it wasn't tumas meis. So they said that ain't somit posel matzil on klei mateches. So it makes sense. It's somit posel. There's Agzeris Chazal. But in this case, how could one thing? How could the same meinekes be a meinekes shel cheres, be mekabel tumah, ein ha'okum kesosum, and nevertheless le'inyan somit posil, ein ha'okum kesosum? That okum makes the keli into klei kibul, and ein ha'okum kesosum, and it's all mekabel tumah. So for the meinekes it's straight, and for the cheres it makes it somit posil. I verstehe the Rambam. Shver Rambam. There has to be here a clear difference in the way the Rambam learns the Tur of Tzamid Pasul, and then the Raivet learns, because the Raivet asks these logical questions. I didn't have time because of Shiva to figure out an answer, but there's a big oimik over here. I just want to finish with a vort from the Rebbe regarding my father, Areni Kaporis Mishkove, in Chelik Lamed Ches. The Rebbe brings regarding Klei Cheres. The Klei Cheres Makif makes it not Tomei, but Tzomit Pasul. So the Rebbe says that the Klei Cheres is v'naf shikor for la keltia. He has a guf, he has a keli, but it's v'naf shikor for la keltia. That Klei Cheres is matzil. The Rambam says in today's shir, if there's a person in it, it's a dover sheinu motzui legozer bechachomim, and he's not tomei. He saves himself from tumah in a tzomit pasul. But if you're in Aliyah, there's in an upstairs floor and the downstairs there's a mace, then the tumah does go up. Learn the Rebbe, Ba'avedus Hashem, Sichas and Chelik Lamed Ches, 71. Learn the Rebbe made in the Kivot. if you're in this world and you're Kleicheres, but you're in this world, then you're doing the Ratzon Elyon, then it's the Tzomit Pasal will be matzil on you. But if you're an Aliyah, you don't come into this world. You're separate, you're aloof, you're an Aliyah. Then it won't be, the Kleicheres will not be matzil on you. You have to be in this world. A long Sikha. The Tate was the ultimate of Kleicheres, the ultimate Bittul de Yid. No one knew about him, no one knew his greatness. Totally tzomit positive, he was connected. He was totally dovuk. He had one thing in mind. What does the Rebbe want from me now? Whether it was to be a professor in Welt, whether it's to give, the Rebbe told him his mitzvah, his mission in life is to give Shuri Teira Barabim. He was without any, didn't care if it's one person, 10 people, 2 people. He was ready to travel anywhere in town. Should be matzil him. There should be matzil him from everything. And he should be matzil and be a vachayit and a libe. Niskashrus to the Rebbe. He also never missed a day of Rambam. Never. From his Takon Toshim Dalet, he would learn always the Rambam the night before. So sein Schus beistehen, everybody. But if someone has an answer to figure out this meinekes, how there's two, the pshat in the Rambam, how the Rambam learns Tzomit Pasal, I would greatly appreciate it. Zayt alle gesund. Shalom.